All right, let's check our satellite picture. Storm already moving into the Pacific Northwest and Northern California. More snow for the Sierra. We have snow on the way for our local mountains. Here's what we can expect for the rest of today. Occasional sunshine mixed with a lot of high clouds. Cooler, late rain tonight, probably over the basin sometime around midnight or a little later in the morning. But we could get some showers moving in later on this afternoon along some of the coastal areas. High surf advisory in effect through tomorrow afternoon. Because of the storm and the large swells generating a rather high surf, 5 to 7 foot surf will not be uncommon. Some sets as high as 8 to 10 feet south of Point Conception. This is the storm that's going to bring us the rain tomorrow. Arriving after midnight tonight. Rain and occasional thunderstorms tomorrow as well. How much rain? Possibly a half to an inch of rain. In some areas underneath the thunderstorm could experience a little heavier downpour. Snow level in our local mountains dropping down as low as 4,500 feet by tomorrow afternoon. And that's going to make the ski resort owners happy. Sunday, we'll get back into sunshine. This next storm will be coming ashore Monday night into Tuesday. So Tuesday morning, we have a chance for more showers in the basin. Then after that, looks like we're going to get back to a high pressure ridge. Rest of the week, we'll start to get an offshore flow and start to dry things out and warm things up for you. It's mainly good air quality throughout the basin, except for Riverside, San Bernardino counties. Going to be some moderate air quality. Cool temperatures around the Southland today. You are going to see a lot of temperatures in the mid to upper 60s out of the valley. 68 for Woodland Hills. San Bernardino will be about the only spot further interior you get into the Inland Empire. You're going to find some warmer temperatures. 72 for High, 79 for Palm Springs, 53 for Big Bear. Up at Edwards Air Force Base, 61. Irvine, 66. And down in San Diego, nice cool high today of 64 degrees. Here's the 5-day forecast. Keep that umbrella, the rain slicker handy. Rain coming in tonight, lasting through tomorrow. Maybe a half to an inch of rain. Sunday it'll clear out, but then the next storm is going to march on shore Monday night into Tuesday morning. Once we get past Tuesday, we'll get back to some warmer temperatures and some drier climates. That means some better golfing weather for those that are interested. Anyone I know? Of course. Air quality, looking at the UV index, stands at 2. That means about 55 minutes before you start to burn. Let's leave you with a look at our Venice beach cam. Some high surf today. Be advised, high surf advisory in effect until tomorrow afternoon. So if you're going to the beach, be very careful out there. Let's go back to Ted and Kathy.
And still so overcast. All right. Thanks a lot, Paul.
Is it you and Neil?
Oh, no. No, things couldn't be better between us.
Oh, glad to hear it.
It's more...
Another live look for you outside. Gorgeous view. Oh, wow, it's pretty out today. Los Angeles already up to 62, Santa Monica 63. You can see here these temperatures are indicative of the offshore flow. It is warmer near the coast than it is in the lower deserts. 49 Palm Springs, Orange 52. The view from our jam cam, we expect to hit 80 degrees today, well above normal, 12 degrees above normal. Last season, we were up to 4.13 inches of rain in our El Nino season, and now we're just under 2. Well, what is going on? Why is it going to be so warm today? Well, high pressure is in command. That is giving us the offshore flow. But as this storm system nears, we're going to gradually move to an onshore flow and cool down a bit this evening and tomorrow as well. So sun and some clouds, quite warm today, well above normal, and then tonight partly cloudy. The storm system should bring precipitation as far south as Kern County and maybe even a couple of showers to Santa Barbara this evening. Lots of 70s along the coast and inland as well. 79 in Ontario, 70 for a high in Santa Clarita, 74 in Palm Springs. Lows tonight, fairly warm because we will have a little bit of cloud cover. 50 for a low in Redondo, 48 in Long Beach for a low, 46 in Santa Clarita, 33 in Idlewild, and 52 for a low in downtown Los Angeles. For our 5-day, quite a bit of activity. So today we will have a little bit of high and mid-level clouds as that storm system gets a little closer. And then we have the possibility of Santa Ana winds Monday, Tuesday into Wednesday. We're not sure yet how strong those winds will be. We have to wait until everything gets set up with that high pressure over Nevada. It just looks like gorgeous weather with the exception of the wind problem. So get out there and enjoy yourselves because today could not be better. I love today. Go out there and have a good time. Let's go back to Jim.
Thanks, Angie. Inflation.
I will continue to support my son.
Would you buy a pair of shoes without trying them on? Or
Join us again for the young and the restless.
Scarlet, tonight on CBS.
I'm Joan Lovett. Next on 2 News at noon, the parents of 6 children killed in a Milwaukee van explosion tell their emotional story for the first time. We'll have a live report. Also, a popular eye center first exposed by Channel 2 News is now the target of a federal investigation. And the father of the 2 little boys allegedly killed by their mother talks one-on-one about his wife and their children. Those stories, the storms in Florida could mean trouble for us. And a warning for parents about Christmas toys. It's all next on 2 News at noon.
So, Bob, we're asking... From WBBM TV, Chicago, this is Channel 2 News at noon.
A fiery accident on a Milwaukee highway takes the lives of 6 children from Chicago. Now the parents of those children are being released from the hospital and telling an emotional tale about the accident that destroyed their family. Good afternoon. I'm Janet Shamlian.
And I'm Joan Lovett. Reverend Scott Willis and his wife Janet has suffered an incredible loss. 6 of their 9 children died in a fiery accident, the explosion of their minivan on I-94 near Milwaukee. And now, as hard as it seems, they are talking about the accident and the deaths of their children. Channel 2's Mike Parker is live in Milwaukee with that story. Mike?
Joan, if there's one question that people across the country have been asking since this tragedy occurred 8 days ago, it is this. How have the parents been able to sustain themselves? How have the parents been able to deal with the tragic, sudden, and horrifying loss of 6 of their 9 children? Well, today, at this Milwaukee hospital, we got the answer in a moving and amazing display of strength, courage, and religious faith. Just 8 days after the tragedy that claimed the lives of 6 of their 9 children, Reverend Scott Willis and his wife Janet were brought into a hospital conference room for a meeting with reporters. It was a meeting the couple had requested.
I must tell you that we hurt and sorrow, as you parents would for your children. The depth of pain is indescribable. The Bible expresses our feelings, that we sorrow, but not as those without hope.
The Willises, flanked by their 3 surviving adult children and their families, thank the American people for their outpouring of support. And they thank God for giving them the children who died, even if only for a little while.
I want to say one thing, that I thank the Lord for a husband that supported me so that I could stay home with my own children and teach them at home. And every minute was so precious, and especially now. And I wouldn't change one minute of it.
We didn't have 9 children by accident. We understood they were given of the Lord, and we understood they weren't ours. They were His, and we were stewards of those children. And so God took them back.
Although Reverend Willis has been officially discharged from the hospital, his wife will be here for another day. He intends to stay with her until they can both leave together tomorrow. Reverend Willis hopes to be back in the pulpit a week from Sunday. The Willises also told us today they don't blame the trucker who apparently inadvertently caused this tragedy. We love him, Reverend Willis said, and we pray for him. That trucker, incidentally, will be meeting today with county prosecutors here in Milwaukee. Prosecutors have not yet decided whether to file negligence charges against him. Live in Milwaukee, Mike Parker, Channel 2 News. Janet, back to you.
Mike, thank you. Federal agents are refusing comment on their raid of a Northwest Side eye surgery clinic, a clinic reportedly under investigation for Medicare fraud. The probe started after the Channel 2 investigative team disclosed the clinic was apparently doing unnecessary cataract surgery on elderly patients. Channel 2's Pam Zeckman is in the newsroom now. She has new details. Pam?
Janet, this outpatient surgery clinic is one of the largest in the country with several branches and makes millions of dollars from Medicare each year. But last night it was shut down while agents executed what may be one of the largest investigations of Medicare fraud ever conducted. They worked through the night, sifting through records, loading up boxes and carting them off in a U.S. mail truck. The action at the Eye Care Physicians of America brought out into the open an investigation into apparent Medicare fraud that was quietly undertaken years ago following a Channel 2 investigation. The clinic owner, Dr. James Desnick, is at the center of the probe. His clinic solicits patients for free eye exams and, as we disclosed, tells many that they need cataract surgery when they apparently don't. But yesterday, agents from the FBI, the Inspector General's office, and U.S. Postal inspectors were mum about the investigation. Is this a mail fraud case?
I can't say that either, because I can't say if there's an investigation or not.
Are you taking patient records?
I can't say.
This morning, the clinic was apparently open for business. Dr. Desnick was reportedly not at the clinic and not available to take my phone call. In the past, he has denied performing unnecessary surgery. Dr. Desnick also faces other problems from the state agency that licenses doctors. They want to suspend his medical license because of alleged malpractice involving surgery he performed on 2 patients. Joan?
All right, Pam, we'll look for your follow-up tonight. Thanks. A woman from Downers Grove has slapped the Toys R Us store chain with a $4 million lawsuit. Mara Wasser claims that she lost her job as a manager because she failed to give a security contract to a company owned by Chicago Alderman Patrick Hules. Wasser says she was pressured to give the contract to the company run by Hules because he cleared the way for Toys R Us to build a store in the Loop. Hules calls the charges ridiculous. Alderman Bernard Stone has had a change of heart about plans to make Kedzie Avenue a one-way street. Stone had city workers put up one-way signs along Kedzie last week to keep out traffic from a shopping mall in suburban Evanston. However, people living in his own ward were so upset with the plan that they started to complain. So now Stone says the people have spoken and he is listening. The signs will be taken down today and Kedzie will once again become a two-way street.
A showdown in Springfield over a controversial gambling proposal. Richard Duchessois has been threatening to close the Arlington Park racetrack unless state lawmakers allow him to build a casino there. Well, right now, busloads of his supporters are in Springfield fighting for that casino. Channel 2's Mike Flannery is also there. He has a live report on late developments. Mike?
Janet, it is not just that proposal, but more than a dozen others. Casino gambling is back in play here at the state capitol now that the election is over. As you can see down here in the rotunda, a group of people from around Arlington Heights have gathered. They are pushing for the racetrack to get its own boat. They say it's the only way to save the 4,500 jobs there. But a lot of other proposals are on the burner too, as well as one for a boat in South Cook County. Expansion of casino gambling is back on the front burner now in the state capitol. The Arlington Park International Racetrack is at the center of one of the most aggressive bids for a new boat. The owner of that world-renowned track is threatening to shut it down next year unless he gets a casino boat. And people representing communities near the track came to the Capitol to lobby today.
I'm very concerned about the tax base being eroded by the loss of business, and particularly Arlington International Racetrack. It's a strong economic part of our picture.
Others, too, are pushing casino gambling plans. Waukegan, Fox Lake, and North Chicago in Lake County want boats, as do groups in southern Cook County.
Arlington is very rich. They have lots of money. And so, therefore, you know, if Arlington is going to be entitled to boats, I'm quite sure the south suburbs needs boats. I wish we could resolve this issue during the veto session.
The fact is, though, many people here under the Capitol Dome do not expect this issue to be resolved this month in the veto session. It's expected to be put off until the session that begins in January. If that's the case, though, the people who are gathered down here backing the Duchessois bid for an Arlington Park racetrack are fearful they're going to lose that track. Mr. Duchessois threatening to shut it down, perhaps as early as next month. Reporting live from the state capitol, Mike Flannery, Channel 2 News. Joan, back to you.
Thanks, Mike. A 93-year-old woman and her 3-year-old great-granddaughter are fighting for their lives today. They were critically injured in a fire that also killed the woman's 2-year-old great-grandson. Bessie Williams was babysitting the children when fire raced through her home. Authorities say that the fire began when the little girl and a little boy were playing with a cigarette lighter. Investigators say that there was no working smoke detector in the home. In northwest Indiana, a very close call for some drugstore employees. This video, shot by the Cedar Lake Police, shows a four-door sedan after it plowed into John's Pharmacy and narrowly missed 3 store workers. Luckily, the driver of the car and her passenger were not injured. 76-year-old Adele Hurley of Chicago Heights told police that her brakes just gave out and her car suddenly accelerated right through the store window.
Lucky no one was hurt.
Unbelievable pictures.
Well, the cost of saying charge it is about to go up. We'll explain why when 2 News at Noon returns. Also, the tropical storm battering Florida could spell some trouble for your food budget.
And Mrs. Clinton takes a walk down the streets of one of the poorest neighborhoods in the world. We'll be right back.
It started with heating contractors.
You told her that there could be carbon monoxide leaking from the furnace.
Then she exposed electrician scams.
All this is unnecessary work to inflate the bill.
Now, wait till you see what Channel 2's Pam Zeckman uncovers next.
We have talked to many people that you have done that to. Are you doing that to rip people off?
Hidden cameras, revealing reporting. Don't miss the conclusion of this 4-month undercover investigation. Hustled at Home. A 2 News Extra. Tonight at 10.
Deadly destruction in central Florida. A tornado spawned by Tropical Storm Gordon smashes into a retirement community, killing at least 1 person and injuring nearly 50 others. Right now, rescue teams are searching for more victims. Gordon's heading north at about 5 miles an hour, packing winds of 50 miles an hour. And that's not all of it. It's also leaving some flooded farm fields in its wake, fields that supply about half the country's winter vegetables. Early estimates, 60,000 acres of farmland is underwater. And that means all of us can expect higher produce prices at grocery stores in the very near future. A protest over rising interest rates failed to keep the Federal Reserve from hiking those rates once again, and it's a big one, 0.75%. Reserve Chairman Alan Greenspan is still worried about keeping inflation under control, but apparently at the expense of consumers. The cost of mortgages and auto loans will be going up, along with the cost of carrying an unpaid balance on your credit cards. Some economists are praising the Fed's latest interest hike, but a lot of consumer groups and politicians are not.
Foreign aid was on Hillary Clinton's mind as she spent the day touring the slums of Jakarta, Indonesia. This is one of the city's poorest neighborhoods along the banks of a putrid river, and Mrs. Clinton saw it firsthand. A U.S. aid official told her about half of Jakarta's people survive in slum-like conditions. The tour comes as some Republicans in Washington are threatening to dramatically reduce foreign aid when they take over the Congress. Back in this country, New York Governor Mario Cuomo now admits his office is shredding documents. Cuomo lost his bid for re-election last week, and the New York tabloids have accused him of shredding sensitive papers. Cuomo calls those reports ridiculous. He says the materials being shredded are old, worthless papers, and he says all of the important documents are being saved, and they will be turned over to his successor.
With holiday shopping just about to kick into high gear, child safety advocates are once again warning parents about the dangers lurking in the aisles of toy stores across the country. And it really doesn't matter where you shop. Shelves are loaded with toys that have the potential to hurt a small child. Toys that look innocent enough but have small parts that can come loose. If the parts can fit inside a tube the size of a toilet paper roll, the rule is a child could choke on them.
1993, which was the last reported year, registered some 166,000 injuries involving toys, and 80,000 of those were to children younger than 5 years old.
Here are the 4 S's to look out for: small parts, strings, sharp edges, and shooting toys. The new Child Safety Protection Act requires better labeling on all toys, but it doesn't take effect until this January.
Well, if you like the weather today, Harry says you're going to love tomorrow. His forecast coming up when 2 News at Noon returns. Then the sports world bids farewell to one of the greatest women athletes of all time.
And a one-on-one interview with David Smith, the father of the 2 little boys allegedly killed by their mom in South Carolina. We'll be right back.
I first called 1-800-DENTIST because I knew I could trust the background information they gave me about the dentist.
Twisted metal and broken glass litter a Denver interstate after a 2-car accident triggers a multi-car pileup. 1 person was killed in all of this, and 36 people were hurt. Witnesses say that cars kept piling up one on top of another, shutting down the highway for 5 miles. A total of 65 cars were involved in this crash. Authorities are blaming the accident on slippery ice left over from Monday's snowstorm. Unbelievable. 65 cars.
Right. Gorgeous here, though.
Yeah,
no
we
such
are
trouble.
lucky.
Boy, it's beautiful.
Driving too fast and too close. I'm sure that's probably part of it on icy streets.
Yeah.
Now the sun's out there, and we've got sun here, and we've got warmer weather. But first, the look at the boutonnieres. From Monday, we were with the Fort Dearborn chapter of the DAR up in Glenview, and that's also from yesterday at the Bethlehem Lutheran Church Women up in, this was down in Beverly Hills, down in Mike Flannery's neighborhood. Anyway, let's take a look right now at the temperatures on this day. It's a Wednesday, going into the last half of November, and it still feels like we're coming into spring. With O'Hare at 52 now, Midway 50, Lakefront 51. These are official noon temperatures around the Chicago area. Humidity 56. The breeze is light off the lake at 6 miles per hour. Pressure's very high now, makes you feel good. 30.29, it's falling just slightly. Now, expected high today is 55. Tomorrow will be about 60. 33 was the low, and O'Hare has still not dropped below the freezing mark this fall season. Sunrise 6:44 and sets at 4:30. That's today, and the afternoons will lengthen only 10 more minutes. Looking at storm watch, we've got first Florida, where we've got tropical storm warnings on both coasts, from Titusville on the east coast down to the Keys, and over here from Venice south on the west coast. The storm is just inland from Fort Myers, and it's got the 50-mile-an-hour winds, as Janet and Joan pointed out. Another area of the storm watch is the winter storm warnings out here in Utah. Look at such a large part of California, which has been colder, as Paul mentioned yesterday, colder in Los Angeles than Chicago, and some heavy snow expected up through Idaho and the Bitterroot Mountains and over into Washington. Now let's go into today's map and see we've got the southerly wind. We're still on the east side of those storms that keep roaring in from the Pacific. The water's warmer out there. It keeps generating these massive storms of rain. Meantime, we've got high pressure here. It gives us benign weather. That's pushing the front south, which is trying to block Tropical Storm Gordon from moving away. Let's move from that right now as we go along into the area and see our region of sunshine. Rain that caused the clouds over us yesterday is down in southern Indiana and Ohio. That's moving away. Also a band of clouds up here to the north. Here are some temperatures around here this morning. We were down to 33 at O'Hare. Now you can see how those clouds are moving through, and the rain to the south of us, and we're right in the clear, and that'll stay. The sky condition will remain fair tonight and through tomorrow. Moving away from that at this particular hour, you're going to see how the conditions are throughout the west have clouds. The middle part is clear. The northeast has clouds, and the southeast has that big, slowly rotating, way out of season storm called Gordon. It's not going to change much the next several days. It's continuing to produce some heavy rains all up and down the Florida Peninsula. And the tomorrow weather map will show that we'll be in some pretty fine conditions here. Here's the forecast now. Sunny skies, pleasant. Winds northeast 5 to 10, the high about 55 on this Wednesday afternoon. Tonight, not quite as chilly as last night. And we'll have clear skies, and it'll drop to 38 inland to 46 along the shore. Tomorrow, increasing high clouds, but plenty of sun through them. Windy and warmer, 60 degrees, wind southwest 12 to 25. And we'll return later to see if the good news will continue on the 7-day outlook a little bit later on.
Thanks, Harry.
All right.
Okay.
Thanks, Harry.
Some of America's smartest teenagers think it's okay to cheat. That story when 2 News at Noon returns. And then new research suggests that women may face bigger risks from smoking than men.
And David Smith speaks out in a one-on-one interview about his wife and the murders of his 2 children in South Carolina. Stay with us.
If unusual fall, aren't we?
And would you believe it's going to continue?
No.
We'll take it.
Well, let's take a look at the 7 days we've got here now. With the temperature already climbing close to 50, we're going to be 55 this Wednesday afternoon. Tomorrow, Thursday, even more beautiful with 60. Now, Friday, we'll see a brief and weak front come through. Might make a little rain, but it'll still be 63. Looking at Saturday, sunshine with a few clouds, 55. Sunday, could be some light rain late in the day, 50. Then early next week, not much change as we head towards Thanksgiving.
Great.
Might be a warm one this year.
That'd be nice.
Finally today, a New York restaurant where even non-drinkers leave seeing double. It's called Twins. It's owned by twins and it's run by twins. They have twin doormen, twin hostesses, twin waitresses, 2 of everything, possibly even double the price. It's on the Upper East Side, and apparently right now it is the in place to go. Twins.
That's for one?
Cool. Yeah.
That's our report for this afternoon. I'm Janet Shamley.
I'm Joan Lovett. We'll see you again beginning at 4. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
When consumers buy ground beef in the supermarket, they expect to get nothing but ground beef in the package.
And it says so on the label, but this American Journal Consumer Report says something else.
Are they trying to save money here?
Shut off the camera, please.
Our exclusive investigation shows what they don't want you to see. I'm Nancy Glass. What are supermarkets across America putting into your ground beef? Watch the next American Journal.
Today at 3:30, right here on 2.
And the last few days, I mean, there just hasn't been much for us to talk about.
Yeah.
And